What's up, y'all? This video is gonna be about networking. I do probably too much networking, to be honest, but somebody told me you cannot do too much. I average probably about 20, 30 calls a week with professionals. So, like, in this time period, I'm just trying to, know more people, learn more about different industries. And really, out of this network, somebody asked me, why do you do it? Are you crazy? That part could be true. I could be crazy, but the reason why I do it, I just love meeting people, and I'm really just here to learn. So, some calls I get absolutely nothing out of. I almost get negative out of a call, which is weird, but I don't expect anything in return. But in this next probably half an hour, we're gonna go through a networking call. Obviously, this is completely legit. I don't edit. I don't know how to edit, so you'll see it live. It could be a fail. It could be a win, and yeah, and you'll just see. I don't know if it would be helpful in any way, shape, or form, but regardless, I'm gonna record it and I hopefully post it unless something goes very, very wrong, which can also happen. I'm gonna give a call right now. I'm calling just for contacts, a senior VP from Morgan Stanley who's working in asset management. So that's that, and may the show begin.
This is Paula.
Hi, Paul. This is Adam. It's now a good time to chat for a brief moment.
Yes, let me just close my door. Hold on one second, please. Hi, Adam.
Hello. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can.
How's your day going so far?
It's been so busy. It's been crazy.
Huh, is that because of the holiday tomorrow?
No, I really thought this was going to be a slow, easy week, but it just got a little out of control. I don't know.
Huh, that is funny.
It out. Yeah.
I guess,
Yeah.
would it help if I gave you 10 seconds on my background and why I wanted to chat with you?
Sure, yeah.
I guess, as you probably saw, I go to UCLA right now. I'm studying econ and math here. So, like every econ major, I thought investment banking was my dream. However, I did an internship at PwC in M&A, and I basically reached the conclusion that's not what I want to do. But I want to pivot to wealth management because I really love the idea of helping people, walking them through their financial plan long term. Sounds really, really fun. And I heard it's kind of entrepreneurial where you do have to eat what you kill in a sense. So all of that sounds much, much more fun than the IB road. And why I reached out to you because I saw you had experience across multiple different firms and you have some experience on the investment side. So I'm just curious about how all that experience has led you to where you are now, and just learning more about your team, what you do. If anything you're willing to share would be super appreciated, truly.
Okay. So, so you're correct. I didn't actually do investment banking, but I did sell-side equity research, which is a lot more demanding, like the investment banking is. And I think it was a lot more cerebral, and the people that I interacted with were, I would say, more on my level in terms of education and knowledge. So changing to being a financial advisor, it was a big change for me because I went from speaking to people who also had MBAs in finance and also had CFAs and were just super smart people managing billions of dollars, to now I am helping the everyday person. Today I spent probably a half an hour on the line with a woman in her mid-80s who was trying to log into her online account. So it's totally different. It's totally different. It can be rewarding. It's not always that fulfilling. Yes, it feels great to help someone, but at the end of the day, did anyone challenge me or stimulate me in any way? Not always. So, there's trade-offs. It is a great career for I think it's a great career for anyone who values work-life balance. And you can make a lot of money at either job. I probably made more when I was an analyst, but I also worked much longer hours. I traveled all the time. I was in the office at 4:30 in the morning. It was just a totally different situation. Now my family is my focus, and so I work pretty much 9 to 5-ish. I never travel. And when I leave the office for the day, that's pretty much it for the day. I try to set boundaries and not do work from home. So, it's just going to be a function of what you value the most. But I think the lifestyle of a financial advisor is probably better than the lifestyle for me of an analyst. But when I was an analyst, like I said, I did travel a lot. I went to great restaurants. I was entertaining clients. I was, rubbing elbows with really high-powered, important, super smart, successful people. And it kind of fed my ego a little bit. So it was rewarding in a different way. Now I just like going home to my family. So it's just, it was the right thing at the right time. But now that I'm older, this is a much better fit for me. A lot of what we do now, everyone gets a financial plan. That was kind of a novel idea 10 years ago, but now it's pretty much industry standard that you start with the planning, finding out what the goals are. Then once you've done the plan, you kind of figure out what rate of return you need to be achieving in order for the client to meet their goals, and then you design the portfolio. A lot of it has to do with making sure everything's scalable so that you're not reinventing the wheel for each client. You don't want everyone to have cookie cutter portfolios, but you do want to leverage as much as you possibly can, so that you don't have to learn a gazillion products. You want to, if you really like a particular product, you want to try and use it for multiple clients. So there's like portfolio design, there's meeting with the clients, there's bringing in the new business, which is probably the hardest part of the job, is bringing in the new business, especially if you're in your 20s, anyone with a decent amount of money is probably going to be reluctant to put their money with you. What else can I tell you? I've done a lot of talking.
I guess what I'm more curious about, what do you differentiate as one team at Morgan Stanley from another team at Morgan Stanley? I don't know if you can elaborate on that regard.
Yeah. So I've only ever been on this one team that I'm on, but they do all run their practices differently and in the way that they choose to. My team tries to be pretty procedural and structured about everything. So like I said, we start with the financial planning, and then once the plan is in place, we review it with the client, make any changes if we need to. Once we feel like we have that set, that's when we go about figuring out how we're going to invest their money. Then we do reviews with them at least once a year. There are other teams that don't put as much emphasis on the financial planning. There are other teams that don't have as long a process before they're actually investing money. Their approach is more like close the business as fast as you can, get it invested, and start earning money on it, So everyone does it a little bit differently. I think some teams are more collaborative. I think some other teams are just a team because they know that if they function as a team, they will get a higher payout on the revenue that they generate. The firm wants teams. The nice thing about a team is you can kind of divide up areas of expertise. So someone could be great at portfolio management, someone else is great at planning, someone else is great at bringing in new business, someone else is great at like understanding estate planning and tax situations and things like that. So I personally really like being on a team. I think being a sole practitioner is kind of going by the wayside, but that was the norm up until not that long ago. So nowadays, everyone's lives are complex, and you're going to get asked questions about taxes, about real estate, about investments, about saving for grandchildren, like all kinds of things. You have to know a little bit about a lot of things, or a lot about a lot of things. Yeah, that's kind of how the job is, but each team can run their practice as they choose.
That definitely makes sense. I guess as a follow-up question, as someone trying to enter into the field and possibly on a team, like what role would you recommend I start on a team, like a financial analyst, a SA? Like, I'm just curious of your opinion on how I should get rolling in this field.
So I would just go straight for the financial advisor's role. If that's what you want to do, maybe see if you can get a summer internship. It seems like a lot of the younger people start in the business doing something really administrative and not super stimulating. It's like things like sending out wires, ordering checkbooks, stopping checks, probably not placing trades, maybe liquidating funds, things like that. And then you just kind of from there work your way up the ladder. But in terms of bringing in new business, it's really challenging. A lot of people join a team in the hopes that the team will carve out some accounts for them. Sometimes it works that way, sometimes it doesn't. And there's really nobody to enforce saying you have to give your junior person some accounts to work on. You have to give them some revenue to generate. So you kind of start in a salaried position and then see if you develop a relationship with any of the teams and if they want you to come on board. And then if you're fortunate enough to be asked to join a team, you go into the financial advisor program and they put you through all kinds of training and you are expected to meet certain milestones along the way. And then you graduate from the FAA program and you become a full-fledged financial advisor, and you bring in your own clients.
Got it. That makes sense as well. I guess I'm just curious, like, how do you find your own clients? Like, how do you go about that, I guess, sales lead process?
It's networking.
It's
you start with, like, friends and family, if you're on any teams, if you're in any clubs, things like that.
I guess, like, what percent of people nowadays do you think fail? Because, like, that process is what I'm scared about in the career.
Wait, say that again.
Like, I know many people fail, like, in this networking phase because it's very tough to find people, even, like, if you try. Like, how, like, risky do you feel like this career is if I go down it?
So, honestly, I don't think the success rate is particularly high. I think people try it for a number of years, and then a lot of times they end up quitting because they just can't make a living on it, because it is a commission-based job. And to your point earlier, you do eat what you kill. So it's challenging.
That definitely makes sense. I guess, like, I'm still in college. I'm not ready to be a FA as of today, but, like, as of today, like, what skills do you recommend I should be gaining actively to become a more competitive candidate for internships?
So I think it's really going to be less about, like, stock picking and understanding the market, and really more about connecting with wealthy people who have money to invest.
That makes sense.
At the end of the day, it's kind of a sales job more than anything else.
That is
you know.
very true. I guess like would you say I should be like connecting with like wealthy people I know now, like trying to like do like an on like traditional way? Like what do you recommend more networking now?
Well, maybe if you see your family over the holidays, start asking them, oh, do you work with a financial advisor? What do you value about your relationship with your advisor? Just kind of ask around and get a sense of who people work with, how they found their advisor, and what they like about their advisor, and maybe also what they don't like about their advisor.
That I would definitely be doing that. I guess like looking at your career, like is there anything you would have done differently like your recent times to be even more successful than you currently are?
Well, I think so I switched to the financial advisor role when I was already in my 40s. I think the earlier you start, the longer the period of time you have to grow your business. And I just never anticipated that I was going to end up in this position. I wasn't really thinking about it, but through a series of different circumstances, this is where I ended up. It seemed like the best way to leverage my knowledge, my experience, and my education, and at the same time be in an industry that allows me to be with my family.
That definitely makes sense too. I guess like as like a follow-up question, like it sounds like really really cool your job and everything you says resonates a lot, but like in your opinion, like what's like the least favorite part of the job? Like why would I not want to be you right now? Because like you're literally living my dream.
Well, I mean, the example I gave today, spending a half an hour on the phone with somebody trying to get them logged into their account. And just doing the same thing over and over for 30 minutes, having them get a code, a 6-digit code texted to them. All they have to do is enter the 6-digit code in, and they can't get it done. And you're just doing it over and over and over, and they're getting locked out, and you're calling the back office. It's not fulfilling.
Like, do you think, like, this is common in the field? Like, do many advisors go through, like, doing, like, this stuff?
Well, so many advisors would hopefully have somebody that they would be able to hand that off to. Like, just put the client on hold and tell their assistant to pick it up, and the assistant has to do it, but somebody has to do it. And the bottom line is a lot of people with a lot of money are older people, and a lot of older people are not great at technology. So that is kind of the nature of the beast.
That makes very fair. I guess I was also like more curious, like on like the size of your team. Like, do you feel like how much does it matter? Like when you're entering, like how big the team is, like a big team versus small team versus location. Like I don't know if you can elaborate on that.
So we have 3 senior advisors on our team. I would say I don't know if that's a big team or a small team. I mean, there are mega teams with a lot of advisors on them. It's like running a small business, and so when you have a team, you have to be able to manage your people on your team, and if that's not really what you want to be doing, then you don't want to have too big of a team, because it gets too hard to manage, and you spend more of your time managing than you do talking to clients and investing.
That is very interesting. I guess I assume like your team fits you, but like are you like happy with your current team size?
I like having a smaller team. I feel like we are large enough to be able to collaborate and small enough to still kind of know what's going on with all of our clients.
That makes sense. I guess I was also going to ask, like, does your team have a niche? Because I heard like many teams have like their own niche or in different areas.
We do not. I feel like when I started in the business, they would always talk about, work with divorced women, or work with, CEOs, or this or that or the other. I think what you will find is that you end up being grateful for any account you can open, and you get what you get.
That is very interesting. I guess like on your team, like how do you feel like the advisors like differ from each other? Like why would somebody use you over your coworkers? I would never really get that part.
You just have to get to them first and develop the relationship. And sometimes developing the relationship takes over a year. It can be a very long process to just kind of build up the trust and get them to like you and convince them of your value, things like that.
I guess, on, the value side, also, I never get this part either, because, I know you can do your investments, but what do you feel like your biggest value add-on for a client is? How do you convince them, hey, you should sign with us?
So that's a great question, because what we do, it is very much a commodity business, and particularly in recent years, most people would have done just fine just doing passive investing in the S&P 500. So the way we're able to add our value is through service, just being there for the client for everything they need. Being willing to spend a half an hour on the phone trying to get them logged into their account, things like that.
Yeah.
My team tends to take a relatively conservative approach. We focus a lot on downside protection for our clients. Most of our clients have made their wealth, so they're not looking for us to grow their money at a double-digit rate. They're looking for us to not lose their money and help them to avoid paying estate taxes help their beneficiaries avoid paying estate taxes when they pass away. So it's a level of knowledge, a level of service, professionalism, just kind of being a good person that they like to hang out with or whatever. There's all different reasons, but that would be a good thing for you to, if you see your family over the holidays, ask them what made you choose your advisor, what do you like about them?
Huh. I better be asking that. That is a good question. I guess, on that note, because I know tax is very important to many people, paying less tax. What degrees or certificates should I be gaining now? Is that the CFP, CFA, my, Series 7? I'm just curious. Yeah.
I don't feel like the CFA is a good use of your time in this role. I do have the CFA, but I got that for when I was an advisor. I would say, if anything, the CFP is probably more beneficial to you, but definitely not required. I think it's good to be knowledgeable about taxes, but we are technically not allowed to give tax advice. So anytime taxes come up, I say to the client, well, you should check with your accountant. However, I am aware that blah, 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 blah. So I don't give them advice, and I always phrase it so that I'm saying, talk to your accountant.
Huh. Are all Morgan Stanley and all firms like that? I did not know that's a rule at all.
Yeah, no, you're not allowed to give tax advice.
Huh. That is very interesting.
That's not our role. That's not our role. We're not tax advisors, and none of us are, CPAs or anything like that. Yeah.
Huh. That's very.
And the tax code is constantly changing, so you have to be keeping up with the tax code all the time.
That's super true. I guess I'm about to take the SIE. Do you feel like that's after that, do you feel like doing the Series 7 or 66 is the good next step?
I would recommend doing what you did with investment banking. Get an internship and, see it firsthand. And it is possible that after you see it, you'll feel the same way that you did about investment banking. And you're like, that's not for me,
Yeah. I guess, on that note, what's the best way to find an internship in this field? Because I know I emailed a few teams, asking, but most don't take interns. I don't know if you have any recommendations.
I honestly don't know the answer. I guess I would find out, you could probably go on the websites for all the different local offices and see who the branch manager is and ask the admin to the branch manager how would I go about submitting a resume if I'm interested in a summer internship.
Got it. I would definitely be doing that because I'm extremely interested. I know we're running low on time right now, but as a final question, do you have any words of advice to end the call with?
I would say to want to do this,
Mm-hmm.
do it as early as you can, because the sooner you can get your book of business to a critical mass, the more comfortably you'll be able to live, because it
Mm-hmm.
is really tough, and you don't want to wait until you're married and have a mortgage and have children
Yeah.
to start over in a career where you're 100% commission and trying to build up your client base. So, yeah, do it early.
That makes sense. By any chance, like, do you know any, like, really, like, young financial advisors you can refer me to? People who just got their book? Like, I'd love to talk with them, too.
I'm not really sure. I really just, like, I am a workhorse, and I come in and I just grind it out all day long, and I don't really talk to a lot of other people in the branch, so I'm really not sure about that.
I guess, like, is there any, like CSAs on your team I could possibly chat with? I don't know if I know they're extremely busy, but I'd still be interested in them, too.
Yeah, I don't know. You can try them. I mean, I can give you their names and you can try them, but I don't know what their availability is.
Yeah, no worries
Everyone's
at
out
all.
of the office right now.
That's very fair. But yeah, I don't want to keep you longer, but thank you so much for chatting and all the advice. It really means a lot.
Good luck to you.
Thank you, and have a happy Thanksgiving.
You too.
Okie dokie. Bye-bye. Okay, y'all, that ends the networking call. It's about 24 minutes long, about the area where I usually prefer to keep them. So just as a quick recap, if you were watching. So it was pretty bland, pretty boring. I asked my general questions. I showed that I'm very interested in the industry. I showed I'm interested in internships. I asked how I can get one. I asked at the end, hey, anybody else you know you can refer me to? And the answer to those, like, for the internship question, she was like, submit your resume to basically the manager, which is fair, but nothing, I don't know. And for the referral part, like, she said she didn't know anybody, which is a little surprising, a little worrying. Like, how do you not know your coworkers at all? It's like, okay, I completely understand people don't want to help, so I am never mad about it, or even upset in one way, but it's just, it is what it is. It's not something cost, but just a status quo. So that was that. But I always recommend asking to like these people you network with if they can help you network with another person, because you want to make a networking chain. So yeah, it's like an exponential thing. One person can lead to the next, lead to the next, and they lead to like 5. So that's the networking chain. But yeah, if anybody wants a networking call with me, like, I do have a rule where if you're serious about it and ask, like, I always take them, because that's one of the things I'm most thankful for. Like, all these people are just random and they are willing to talk to me, like, for half an hour, give time out of their crazy busy day. So I'm very, 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 very thankful for it. And if I could repay it back to these people in any way I could, but I'm also, like, want to repay it back by, yeah, if you ever want to network with me, like, I'm happy to chat and really assist you all in any way I can. So truly here in the same way that others have been here for me. So happy Thanksgiving, y'all, if you're still watching. Yeah, see you all soon.